Good morning, Sac City. Welcome into another edition of the Sac City Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Vinny Milani, joined as always by my best friend in the whole entire world. He is Aaron, the Mukesiah Mukes, and below us we have your boy, my boy, and everybody's boy. He is AJ Johnson. It is a beautiful November 3rd morning here in the city. Episode 112 is about to kick off. We've got week 9 games upon us. Thursday night football is tonight between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Houston Texans. Should be a terrible game. I'm kidding. It should be a great game. We'll talk DFS plays later on in the show. But we do have a full slate of week 9 previews. 5 games to talk about, including the Chiefs and Titans, Bills, Jets. Fun stuff along the way. Let's get down to business.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's time for some morning headlines, and they just got a couple things that I need to go into. 2 players that were supposed to, quote, supposed to be traded at the deadline. There's been some news and headlines popping up about them. Cam Akers, first off, is expected to return to practice today. Head coach Sean McVay did come out and say that he talked to him, and everything is peachy keen. Everything is going back to where it was with Cam Akers before all the trade rumors popped up. So we'll keep an eye on Cam Akers. One other player that was rumored to be traded was Brandon Cooks. His status for Thursday Night Football is now up in the air because of non-injury news. It's all personal reasons. He was very upset after the trade deadline, or appeared upset. A lot of people are referring back to his tweet that he posted shortly after the deadline passed, saying, quote, "Don't take a man's kindness for granted. Covered for the lies for too long. Those days are done. Crossed the line with playing with my career." Now, this obviously does not come out and straightforward say, hey, Texans, you fucked me over. But a lot of people are drawing those conclusions after seeing that tweet. We've seen things happen before with the Texans organization and not trading players when they want to be traded, and then making bad trades. And it's just a messy situation with Brandon Cooks. So his status remains up in the air for tonight's matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles. And last, but certainly not least, this man got traded on Tuesday to the Miami Dolphins. Bradley Chubb traded on Tuesday to the Miami Dolphins, already getting paid by the Fins, signing a 5-year extension worth up to $112 million with incentives to bump that bad boy up to $111.25 million contract with the Dolphins. This basically ties Bradley Chubb contractually to the Dolphins for the next 6 years. That is a good deal for the Miami Dolphins, being able to lock down their future star pass rusher in Bradley Chubb, who they just acquired. Any thoughts, gentlemen, to any morning headlines?
Hello, Vinny.
Hi.
Go ahead, AJ. I'll let AJ go first.
Yeah, it's not too much. I do find the Brandon Cooks one a little interesting. I remember him being a guy, he's always been pretty good to that organization, and the way that he treated them, even though most people thought he should have been let go or traded almost 2 years ago. But he stayed there and been a veteran for those guys coming up in that receiver room. He's taking care of the people, the young cats on that team. And, you know, he was kind of hoping that they would do right by him when it came time to. And unfortunately got shown that it's a business, and they did what ended up being best for them. Because I'm sorry, there had to be some deal somewhere that could have been done. But part of me feels like if there wasn't a deal done for Brandon Cooks, they either didn't try hard enough or they got really greedy in what they were asking for. And in turn, he's now stuck with them at least through the end of the year. And, he's right, playing with his career, man. He's a little older. He's still got something left in the tank. He's still a good receiver, but who knows how long that's going to last. And I'm sure he wants to finally get to a winning team that's not in a 3 to 4 to 5 year rebuild. So hopefully come season's end, he'll find a good home and can play some really good football next season.
Yeah, I'm not sure I buy this. I don't know what's going on. I don't like the tweet. The main thing I don't like the tweet is he just signed a deal. Like, he chose to sign a deal there. to stay through 2024. Nobody, like, there was trade rumors at the beginning of the season. There were trade rumors last season. He chose to sign a deal to stay there. And you're complaining now that they're not trading you. I don't never understood that. And I'm a big Brandon Cooks guy, you know that, but I don't understand why you're going to come out and send a tweet like that after you decided to sign that deal to stay there and get an extension. I'm not sure what the motivation is behind it. But
well, I mean, he alludes to covering for them and covering for lies. Maybe they gave him a different narrative than what, was told to be happening this season. Maybe they came to him with something that they wanted to work out that would keep him there for this. But maybe he was supposed to be traded by the deadline after signing the deal from Jump Street. Like it seems like they went into some shady stuff. I understand he signed the deal.
This doesn't make much sense.
Wasn't there something that happened with Deshaun Watson similar to this, like where like he was told certain things didn't happen, and
Deshaun Watson was told that he was going to have input on who like the head coaches and stuff.
So I guess like that's kind of what I'm referring to is just the fact that like we've seen this organization do shady stuff, and this is all like report. We're not inside the organization. Like no matter what anybody says, we're not in there. We're not on those walls listening to what the conversations are. So we don't know, but. Obviously, last year with Deshaun Watson and those rumors and reports that were happening that he was told those things and it didn't happen. Now, Brandon Cooks tweeting that about how he's covered up for something for so long and been a professional about it. Now, kind of being stabbed in the back, maybe, and who knows? That tweet might be about a TV show he just watched. Like that's the thing. That tweet might not be exactly about. The trade deadline, maybe it is. Maybe
I just don't understand why. It just doesn't make sense. You've only been there for 3 years. Like this is only his third season playing in Houston. It's not like he's been in Houston for so long.
That's too many years, man. That's too many years.
Damn, you've been playing with
that feels like a career.
It's your third season in Houston, and you just signed an extension. Like you had the choice not to sign that extension.
3 years
to sign an extension.
3 years in Houston feels like an eternity in the NFL. That's what it is.
I don't know.
I get what you're saying. I think that's. I mean, there were the reports out there as well that the Dallas Cowboys were really close to trading for Brandon Cooks, but it came down to the money. That's the report I heard yesterday. Was saying the
Dallas Cowboys love to be close to doing a lot of things. It's to keep the Dallas Cowboys in the media and in the news. We all know Jerry Jones came out as, we're in the works. We got lots of things moving.
We got to trade for Aaron Donald right up there.
Come on, man.
It's going to be feverish at the trade deadline.
That's how they stay relevant. That's how they stay as the most valuable franchise in the world. So I don't think anything was ever happening. I mean, obviously they were trying, but I don't think they were ever a deal that was really that close for Brandon Cooks, especially for the Cowboys. And that's how it happens. None of the guys that were supposed to get traded got traded. It was all people we had no clue were even available, right? Maybe except for Bradley Chubb,
and Chase Claypool.
But I mean, like your first deal is TJ Hawkinson. Nobody knew that was going to happen. Jeff Wilson out of nowhere. Like this is what happens. All the rumors, all the swirling, and it's never those guys. It's always somebody else.
Yeah. It was a fun trade deadline, though. If you missed any of our content regarding our trade deadline, it is available to you guys for your viewing pleasure on our YouTube page at the Sac City Pod. Aaron, let's get into the injury report.
Vinny, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm sorry that Keenan Allen had a setback.
Dude, that news made me cry. I was literally like just 5 minutes before that tweet was sent out, I told my friend, I was like, I'm just waiting for Keenan Allen practice report news. That's all I'm waiting for Twitter because my Twitter was blowing up. And I was like, and then I came in, I was like, are you shitting me right now? Go ahead. Sorry. I digress.
Yeah, Keenan Allen suffers a setback with that hamstring injury. This is what we talked about with soft tissue injuries. You just never know. It looks like he's probably going to miss Sunday's game. In jeopardy, at least right now, of missing Sunday's game. Tough news for the Chargers with the injuries already that they have there. So got to keep an eye out for that. DeAndre Swift was also held out of practice. So was Jonathan Taylor. Guys that we thought were coming back, they're still dealing with these injuries, so they're going to have to manage these going forward. I think the Jonathan Taylor news is about managing the injury. I think he suits up, but you have to be worried about how productive he can be, not practicing, just going out on Sundays. So there's some issues there. Jordan Davis was put on IR for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is going to be out this week. He had talked about that ankle injury he was rolled up on. He'll be out for a while. It's a big loss for them in the middle of the field. He's in the middle of that D line. He'd been playing well. I know they have Fletcher Cox and those boys, but that's a big injury. Cordero Patterson returned off injury reserve, opening up the 21-day practice window. There's a chance he plays Sunday. I expect him, honestly, to miss Sunday. I don't know why, but I feel like they hold him out this week and they get him back next week. But he ran out on the field. He had a little TikTok coming out saying, "Guess who's back at practice?" And it's Cordero Patterson. So good for Cordero Patterson. That's a big deal for them. A couple of people that didn't play or didn't practice: Xavier Howard, Melvin Ingram, but it looks like those were just Veteran Day rest days off. Chuba Hubbard was back at practice, so on a limited basis, ankle injury there. We talked about what that would look like if he gets back on the field. Maybe it's more of a timeshare with him and Deontay Foreman. So who knows if he'll be on the field Sunday, but that could be some additional help for the Carolina Panthers backfield. Christian Watson was not at practice. Elgin Jenkins, Devondre Campbell, David Bakhtiari, big-time losses for the Green Bay Packers. A bunch of people that weren't at practice. But again, it was that Wednesday practice day. Who knows if it's something that's long-term or if it's just rest days for those guys. Jordan Poyer for the Bills was not at practice on Wednesday. That elbow injury, and he's considered a week-to-week, which is a little bit different than day-to-day. Chase Young's practice window for injury reserve was open, but it's still unclear whether he's going to make his return this week. I don't think he will. I think that it'll be, again, another week or so before he gets on the field. So that's big for them, but at least they're going to have a chance to get Chase Young back here in the next couple of weeks. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf were both limited. We know what they're dealing with. They'll probably be out there Sunday. Cooper Kupp as well, who's held out of practice on Wednesday, but rehabbing that ankle, I still expect Sunday. So it might be another Malik Willis against the Kansas City Chiefs this week. And Malik Willis against the Chiefs, I don't know if I love it. Don't know if I love it.
I would not love that either. I would not love that.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. That's
all the injuries for now. I could go forever on injury report every day. There's literally, if I was to just name every injury from every team, it would be a 35-minute segment, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that it would take us forever, and we would not be able to bring you guys any game previews, which we're going to get into right now. Let's go inside the match. That's right. It is time to go inside the matchup. First up on our list, it's the Carolina Panthers at 2-6 taking on the 4-4 Bengals. The Bengals are 7-point favorites in this matchup with a 42.5-point over under. Last week, we saw the Cincinnati Bengals play on Monday Night Football. Actually, just a few days ago, we just saw the Bengals play on Monday Night Football, and it did not look good. Aaron, you and I were doing the recaps for this game. AJ, you were not there, so I'm going to go to you first here on the Bengals side of things. What's the fix to the Bengals here? Is it a simple fix to bounce back from Monday's matchup?
Simple? No. I mean, they have the talent. They have to put it together, but they're doing it against a defense who some might say overperformed, but is playing to what we thought they would be. This Carolina defense is pretty good. They know how to get after the quarterback, and you talked about trades that didn't happen. A lot of swirl was around Brian Burns, and they definitely did not let him go. He is going to be there ready to rush the quarterback. So this line has to hold up better than it did against Myles Garrett, and they didn't even have all their guys rushing the quarterback, and it wasn't able to do it. So you need some help. You need some help blocking. Joe Mixon's not a blocking guy, but at the same time, if you're going to keep him in there, he's got to be able to hold his own, or at least be a good release valve for him, which is something he'd been good in the previous weeks before and wasn't so much against the Browns. So easy fix, no. Fixable, Absolutely. This is a very talented offense, and I think Joe Burrow knows what he needs to do to get it together.
Last week, Joe Burrow sacked 5 times. Another just tough week for Burrow and that offensive line in Cincinnati. Aaron, on the Panthers side of things, PJ Walker remains the quarterback. Had a great week last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Helped them at least push to overtime. Some big plays on the back of DJ Moore as well. What's your assessment of PJ Walker through the few games that he's had started for the Panthers?
Oh, timing.
Oh,
he's PJ Walker. He's PJ Walker. He's a backup quarterback in the NFL. We want backup quarterbacks to be better than they are, but there's a reason why you're in the NFL and you've bounced around and you've gone place after place after place, and you're still the same type of quarterback. Can you come in and have some success sometimes? Sure, why not? But for the most part, that's not the way it works. For the most part, you're going to be stuck being a backup quarterback, and that's what he is. He's just their best option because they have a team full of backup quarterbacks. He's played okay. He's not the best, but he's not the worst quarterback that you can stick out there and expect to try to get something done. But let's be honest, I don't think anybody in Carolina really thinks that Carolina is going to do something. We can talk about they're trying hard and they're still want to win games. All those things are true. But there are still realistic expectations as coaches, as players in the NFL, when they look at their roster and they look at their team and they go into each Sunday and say, this is what we are trying to do. They know they're not Super Bowl contenders, but they want to do what they can to see what kind of young talent they have, what they want to do to get their next contract if you're a player. And that's okay. It's okay to be realistic. And PJ Walker is just a realistic backup option that is the best for them right now. I don't expect more. I don't expect less. I expect PJ Walker to be PJ Walker. So the numbers that he's put up, the way he's looked, the inconsistency that he has, that's what he's going to be because that's the type of player that he is. It's not going to change all of a sudden now 4 or 5 years into the league, knowing that he's came in as a backup. He is a backup. It wasn't drafted to be anything other than a backup, or I don't even think he was drafted. I think he was a free agent, but
XFL stud.
Yeah. Like, so you knew what you were doing when you go get PJ Walker. You're not looking for your next star quarterback. You're looking for somebody to come in and fill in and play well when you have an injury. And I think he's done that, but he is limited.
Yeah. I think that he can't write back if they never wrote about him in the first place. I know we talked about Geno Smith writing back, but they never wrote about him in the first place.
Let the writing back thing go. That wasn't. Why do people like that so much? It wasn't that great.
It was pretty great.
People like the Broncos country. Let's ride. Okay. People will get attached to anything. Okay. Yeah. That's where we're at in today's society. This game though, I think is going to be a bounce back game for the Cincinnati Bengals after a tough week last week. I am very interested to see that pass rush of Carolina get to Joe Burrow and see how they protect Joe Burrow. It's clear, and there's a clear connection when Joe Burrow is not sacked 5 or more times that he does well. And when he doesn't, when he gets sacked 5 or more times, it's bad. It's bad news for the Bengals. But in this game, I don't see that happening. And I personally will start with my prediction, 31-17 Bengals here, gentlemen. Aaron, what you got?
Yeah, I almost want to change my pick because I have a sneaky suspicion that this game is going to be a lot closer. I will tell you, when I made my picks yesterday, you were like, I need your picks. I just started sending them to you because you said you need them tonight, and I didn't want to forget. And I just was like, shit, let me just send them. But I am going to take the Bengals in this one. I will take the Bengals 33-17. What do you just put my pick up there? I told you once I start talking, put my pick up there. Anyways, 33-17, I'll take the Bengals. But you talked about Joe Burrow getting right. This is what Joe Burrow has to learn. The deep ball's not there with Jamar Chase anymore. They can't force the ball down the field. The defenses are forcing them to check down more, and he has to be willing to take those check downs. Last week, it was check down to Joe Mixon or getting sacked. And when the Bengals do that, they get impatient, and they start trying to force stuff, and that's when the turnovers and the sacks happen. I'm not putting all of these sacks on the offensive line. A lot of those are Joe Burrow wanting to force the ball down the field and holding on to it too long. I get it when it's nobody blocks Myles Garrett and he gets after him in the second and a half. But some of those, it's just Joe Burrow holding the ball and not looking at his initial primary and secondary reads because he wants to push the ball down the field. So I have some concerns there, but I think the Bengals are a better football team. I will take them 33-17, but that score is probably not what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that.
Yeah, it's probably going to be something like the Bengals 31-24. That seems right in the area of where it should be. The Panthers have been scoring a little bit more. The offense actually looks like something that's not just CMC with PJ Walker. DJ Moore's kind of got back to resurgence. I imagine that Deontay Foreman's not going to have another 150-plus game, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that he does. And I think Chuba Hubbard coming back is going to help that run game as well. So I think they can score, but I do believe that you make a good point about him having to take what's there, because that's what's going to open up the long ball. And you can force a long ball to Jamar Chase. Tyler Boyd either needs busted coverage or for them to kind of forget about him because they're focused on a couple other things. And if you take those checkdowns, if you take those easy across the middle field shots to T. Higgins and your big body receivers, Tyler Boyd can get open, get loose downfield. And I think you see that happen a few times this game. Cincinnati Bengals 31-24.
There you go. Next game on our list, it's the Indianapolis Colts taking on the New England Patriots. The Colts are 3-4-1. The Patriots are 4-4. Long gone are the days of Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. This matchup will feature Sam Ehlinger against Mac Jones. The Patriots are favored in this one by 5.5 points with an over-under of 40. This will be game 2 for Sam Ehlinger. The offense, again, though, last week did not look like it improved at all. It didn't really look like much changed last week when Sam Ehlinger made his debut. Aaron, take us through the keys for this Colts offense to kind of figure, like, what do they have to do? What do you want to see from this Colts offense to kind of show some signs of improvement?
They have to run the ball. Jonathan Taylor has to be healthy, or they have to run the ball with Deion Jackson or whoever's back there, Phillip Lindsay, if they want to bring him back up. They can't rely on their quarterback. Obviously, their quarterback is in there to be a game manager because Matt Ryan was turning the football over too much for them. Ehlinger had one turnover. It was just a fumble, but he did turn the football over, didn't throw for a touchdown, only had 200 yards, just dropped back to throw 23 times. I think this offense has always been about one thing over the past couple of seasons, about running the football and playing sound defense, and they haven't done that. So both the defense hasn't produced what we thought they would produce because we did think they were better, but also the run game and Jonathan Taylor has to be better. And if he's hurt, he's hurt. Get him off the field. Having a partly injured Jonathan Taylor is not going to be explosive. I'd rather just have Deion Jackson and let Jonathan Taylor get healthy. But that's what they have to do. There's no secret formula for the Colts. They don't have a secret formula to go out and win games. They're less talented than most of these teams. They need to run the football. They need to control the tempo, and they need to make sure that Jonathan Taylor's healthy so that he can carry them very similarly to what Derrick Henry is doing in Tennessee. If they don't do that, they don't have a shot. We're getting to the point in the season now where some of these teams' seasons are about to be over. Like now it's just I'm playing because I get paid to play football, and I'm playing for my next contract, or I'm playing to make a Pro Bowl, or whatever it is that motivates these players after they're eliminated from playoff contention. We're getting to the point of the season where we are going to start calling teams that they just don't have a shot at the playoffs. Like, even if they're not mathematically eliminated, the Colts in a few weeks may not even be thinking about playoffs. And at that point, everything shifts. Jonathan Taylor may not play as much because he's injured and they want to rest him for next year or whatever. Like, they don't want further injury. This is when you start to see young players come in. Maybe you're not seeing as much Stephon Gilmore. So if it's now or never, and a team like New England, I think you can have some success running the football against them. We've seen it, but you have to commit to it, and you have to be highly productive in this game in order to get this win. If you don't get this win, good luck going forward, because the schedules don't get easier. You're not going to find many opponents that look like New England on your schedule. And the season is going fast. We're already halfway. We're at the halfway point, and it's creeping up on you fast. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and on the Patriots side, they're 4-4. Excuse me. The Patriots are 4-4. And Aaron, you talk about how at this point in the season we're starting to figure out who's actually truly a contender and who's truly not a contender, and things are starting to figure itself out, and teams will quit. Well, not quit. Teams will start looking ahead to next season. Bill Belichick's team, I don't think, will ever have that feeling until they are mathematically eliminated. I don't think Bill Belichick will allow that to happen. And they're sitting at 4-4 right now, a 500 team, not out of it mathematically by any means. AJ, though, this team has not looked great. No one's talking about the Patriots as being this great team. Mac Jones only has 3 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions this season. It hasn't been pretty for the Patriots. What's the real truth, though, beyond that record of 4-4?
I mean, this team has a lot to figure out on the offensive side of the ball. Being a team, it's funny, they still know their identity. It just doesn't work the way they were hoping. They're a team that plays defense, and they're a team that runs the ball. Their defense is, for the most part, doing their job. Their running game is, for the most part, doing their job with Ramondre Stevenson. Whenever Damian Harris gets back in the mix and they decide to go that route, that's who they are. But it's not enough because you have a quarterback that's pedestrian in Mac Jones, and you can't figure out if you want to keep him because you drafted him first round, 15th overall, or go with the guy in Bailey Zappi, who the team seems to like and the fan base seems to like. The fact of the matter is this team is not being thought about the same way because there are teams in their division that are just flat out better than them. You look at what the Bills are doing this year. They're looking like they're scorched earth, ready to take the W. You look at the Miami Dolphins. They're making moves because they can see themselves as a contender. You look at the Jets, who came in last week with the real thought process that they could win this game. And it just so happens to be that, it's a young quarterback against Bill Belichick. Unfortunately for the Colts, that happens here again. It's a young quarterback, second start. Their offensive line hasn't been good. So it may be an ugly game, which I expect. But I do think that the Patriots will pull this one out 23-17 on the back of their defense, their pressure rate, and their run game. So 23-17 New England Patriots.
Yeah, Bill Belichick, Sam Ehlinger, that tells the story. I'm taking the New England Patriots here 17-10. AJ talked about identity. It's cool to have an identity. I love identity on a football team. You have to know who you are, but you have to have the personnel to have an identity. And the Patriots want to do what the Tennessee Titans do. Why do the Tennessee Titans win more regular season games? Because they have Derrick Henry. New England Patriots, I'm not saying Ramondre Stevenson's bad, but the game-changing players at the positions that you want to lean on are not special. Like, Ramondre Stevenson's a good football player, but he's not Derrick Henry. So asking him to be the reason you can carry the ball 32 times and win a game, probably not going to happen as much as it's going to happen for Derrick Henry. So I just think that both of these teams are really limited right now. I just think the coaching on the Patriots side and the ability to just outscore whatever is needed in a game like this is enough. And I think the Patriots get the low-scoring game win 17-10.
Yeah, well, I think we're all on the same page here, talking about a lower scoring game. I have it 21-13, and I was really trying to figure out where I wanted to put the points for the Colts. If they have no Jonathan Taylor, I'm like, okay, is it less than 13? If it's Jonathan Taylor, is it more than 13? Like, I don't know how much of a difference banged up Jonathan Taylor will make in this game. I'll just say 21-13, but it could be even less than that. You might even see a 14-6 game or something along those lines, something gross from this matchup between the Colts and the New England Patriots. The next game on our list, it's the Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets, the 6-1 Bills, the 5-3 Jets. Two teams that, records are not too far off, but the point spread is the Buffalo Bills are favored in this one, 12.5 with an over-under of 47. This is kind of where the reality hits for the Jets, right, Aaron? This is where the reality sets in of just where they're at and where teams like the Bills are at, where it's just not that close. Because, a 12.5 favorite for here on the road, like this is the Bills being that good and the Jets kind of facing reality.
Yeah, if you want to base it on the
Came in strong too.
spread, I don't love the spread. I think it's disrespectful. I always say double-digit spreads in the NFL are disrespectful because despite how much we think teams get blown out, they don't. In the NFL, most time games come to one score or single digits, especially when you watch the game and see how close it is until the end and somebody might pull away. But there are blowouts in the NFL, and it does happen. Division rival, division game on the road. I do think the Jets come in a little bit with some motivation after losing to New England and have something to prove. I just don't know that the offense can keep up with the Bills offense. And I think that's the point. I do think the Jets will play good defense. And when I say good defense, it doesn't mean the Bills aren't going to score 30. It just means they're going to be outlasted by the Bills offense because they're going to have so many opportunities to score that eventually it just gets to that point where they are scoring. Defense is tired. But I like the Jets defense. I think the Jets have one of the better defenses in football. And I think they maybe keep it close at the beginning and keep it competitive in the first and second quarter. But ultimately, they're going to pull away and because the Bills are just a better football team. But the Jets have something to prove here. They don't have to win this game to prove what we all want them to prove, which is that they can be a good football team. They can eliminate mistakes. They can hold on to the football. If they run the football, protect Zach Wilson, and try to take some time of possession and keep Josh Allen off the field, and this game finishes 27-17, I think everybody is okay with the Jets saying, you know what, they did what they could as young as they are with what they have against a juggernaut of an offense and a defense. And I think we would be okay with that. So it's not about winning this game. It's what do you look like? And I often say that, like, what do you look like in a game like this? Because you're a young team and we don't expect you to beat the Bills anyways. What do you look like in the game and how confident are you? What kind of control do you have of the time of possession in this game? And what are you doing offensively to make sure that you're putting your defense in good situations to be able to at least slow down and sustain where Josh Allen gets on the field, what Josh Allen and that offense is able to do with the weapons that they have. And I think that's the most important thing for the Jets.
Yeah, and they got to eliminate these turnovers. That's like the biggest thing. And I'm worried about Zach Wilson in this game and the Bills defense because last week the Bills defense, like I said when we were recapping this game, I heard a lot from the pressers of the Bills talking about how their defense didn't play as well as they wanted to. They let up a few bad plays. They have a lot of things to fix. And I'm like, oh no, that's not good for the New York Jets this week because if the Bills are already playing where they're at and they have things to fix that they're trying to fix, like it could be problems for Zach Wilson. Stephon Diggs, one of the best wide receivers, if not one of the top receivers in the NFL right now. On the other side, it's Sauce Gardner, rookie cornerback who's been incredible to start the season, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, even as a rookie. What do we expect to see for the matchup between Diggs and Sauce Gardner?
Look, I love Sauce Gardner as much as anybody, but it's not time. I'm not saying he's not going to get a couple of plays, but I know Stephon Diggs. Well, he's, like you said, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. But the other part of it is, if I'm not mistaken, Sauce Gardner's not shadowing at this point. And the way this offense goes, I know Stephon Diggs will line up outside a lot of the time, but they do like to move this offense around. They do like to spread this offense around. So Sauce Gardner may not even be seeing Stephon Diggs as much as you'd imagine. But it will be fun to watch him go at 1-on-1 because he's not going to back down from Stephon Diggs just because he's good. But we also saw what Stephon Diggs can do when he's motivated. It was very fun watching him chirp at Jair Alexander and that whole defense last week when they were already, double-digit favorites and were expected to heavily win in this game. Should be fun, but I don't think it's going to be a heavy matchup. I am excited for the days that Sauce does begin to shadow more like some of the top cornerbacks in the NFL, but I still think he's coming along in this NFL season and learning the ropes of this professional part of the league.
That'll be a fun future. Stephon Diggs, Sauce Gardner, AFC East rivals. You'll see them 2 times a year like that. That being a thing would be great.
Well, so it's interesting that you went there because as good as Sauce Gardner has been, his counterpart has been better. DJ Reed has actually been a better corner than Sauce Gardner this year, which is crazy because Sauce has balled out. DJ Reed's only allowing 39.8 passer rating on his side of the field whenever he's played, so they haven't had to really do that. Not that Sauce Gardner has been any worse than that because Sauce Gardner is also up there with at the top. But I think it's about a combination of both of these guys trying to slow down Stephon Diggs. I don't care what defensive back you have. Jalen Ramsey out there, Stephon Diggs is going to get his. He's that good, but more so that offense and the way they target him and use him knows how to get him the football in motion, in the slot, puts him outside, combo routes. They do so many things so versatile with him because they understand that that's what their offense goes through, that they're going to give up something eventually. But it is a great matchup. I'm telling you, this Jets defense is legit. Yeah. I just don't know if they can stand up long enough. I got the Bills in this one. It's too much. I don't think Zach Wilson's turnovers are that much of an issue, though. I will say that. I got the Bills 35-17, but you talked about Zach Wilson's turnovers, and he's thrown 5 picks this year. Most of it came in one game. He actually had been protecting the football outside of last week, and this is the same thing Belichick did to him last year. I don't know if the Bills are scheming up like Belichick, even though they have more talent than what the Patriots have. but he probably does turn the football over once or twice, and I take the Bills just because they're the better team, 35-17.
AJ?
Yeah, he's been bailed out a few times too. It's not just so much the turnovers. Some of his decision making has gotten questionable, but it's also when they're putting him in positions that's outside of what they were asking him to do early in the season. So I think you do see him get a little bit better. This defense, the Jets are on the way. They're just young, but they're talented, and they are learning who they are and how they need to fight. This is a good divisional matchup for them to figure that out, because these are the guys they're going to go up against every season. It won't happen this week. Give me the Bills 33-17. That offense will be too much, and they feel some type of way after not playing to their standard last week in a win. So that's scary enough.
Yeah, I'm on that boat for both sides of the ball. I think that both the Bills defense and offense are coming, like, for some reason, have a chip on their shoulder after last week and come out firing. And I think they beat the Jets. Obviously, it's a clean sweep here, but I have it 35-10. And yes, that might be disrespectful to the Jets. I think it's more of a respect to the Bills and not a disrespect to the Jets. I think the Bills are just too hot right now, and they win this game 35-10. Aaron, we talked earlier to start this segment about the spread in this game. This is the second largest spread as a road favorite against a team with a winning record since 1990. So this is not a common thing. But the Bills are just that good. And that's the thing. I think it's more of a respect thing to the Bills and not a disrespect thing to the Jets because of how good
I think
they've
it's
been.
a disrespecting to the Jets. I don't think people think the Jets are real. You would never find, even as good as the Bills are, the best team in football, you would never find the Bills as a 12.5-point favorite over another good team that would normally be 5-3 if people really believed in that team as being 5-3. The Jets are one of the teams we talk about. Are they frauds, right? They're the Giants, the Seahawks. We have those mindsets this year about a couple of teams, and I think that's what you're finding here with this big spread. Is I don't think people believe in the Jets.
I want this game to be close.
And I think it's hard. I think it's hard for people to believe in the Jets. I mean, it's just from what you've seen. It's from what you've seen year after year, and then you look at a team like the Raiders, who we keep trying to believe in, and they keep letting you down. So you keep thinking about it that way. You're like, well, why would I believe in the Jets? Every time I do, they keep letting me down.
It's just that, but that's the thing. It's like we pick and choose who we want to believe in based on like our feelings, and I don't mean us. I just mean in general. Right. Like we believe in the Seahawks. Like people are already believing in the Seahawks now. How are they any different? The Seahawks.
I think you still have to see it to believe in. And while the Jets had some good moments, they've won some good games. I mean, you think about the ways they won the game. They were fought hard. They were gritty. So now you're up against these teams like the Bills. And yeah, I mean, it took you a comeback win against a horrible Pittsburgh Steelers team. Why would I think of going in against the Bills?
They blew out the Dolphins. They blew out the Packers. Like, what do we want to talk? They've beaten two teams that we talk about all year. They beat Denver. Like the teams that on the road, they go beat at Green Bay, at Denver, and blew out Miami. And but we're gonna sit here and not believe in them. And that's like those are better wins than some of the wins that good teams have in this league.
When they played Miami, wasn't it with Skylar Thompson and
I was hoping you didn't go there.
I don't know. I don't know, but that's my point. We will pick that game out and we will try to find a reason. But when somebody else does it, by the way, the Bills got beat by the Dolphins without Tua Tagovailoa.
Well,
yes,
with a concussed Tua Tagovailoa.
Well,
I'm just half a Tua.
Half a Tua. I'm just saying like that. But we're gonna pick out the Skylar Thompson game, or it was raining in Green Bay, or it was.
I'm just telling you I think people are looking at, man.
I
don't get it.
I was hoping you didn't go bring up the Dolphins one, just because yes, they beat him with Skylar Thompson, but also the fact that but the Jets didn't just beat them. They smoked. They blew them out. And we talked about it before that game too. And I'm on the Bills side of this, and I do think that I don't know if I'm buying into the Jets either, but we talk about that game specifically, and it's like before that game took place, we said, okay, the Dolphins have to win this game because that's what good teams do against teams that are not commonly good in the way that. But the Jets came in there and smoked them. The talent of the Dolphins should have been able to keep that game close, whether it was with Skylar Thompson or not, or Tua Tagovailoa. The talent should have kept that game close. They didn't. The Jets smoked them, but that doesn't happen.
Smoked Green Bay in Green Bay.
in Green Bay.
You know who you credit for that though, right? Sitting on the bench for the season now. Brees Hall.
What? Brees Hall. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, but I guess that's the point. Is I'm just saying, like, we can continue to say we don't believe in these teams, the Giants, and that's fair. I may agree with you that I don't think they are as good as their record says, but we only choose to do that certain times. And the evidence, and I'm not saying we as in you, AJ, or Vinny,
right.
The NFL society, but the evidence says the Jets are a good enough team to go get some wins. Why should we not look at that and say, you know what, they are better than what we are giving them credit for? And I think this line is an indication of that. It's saying, we don't really trust the Jets. Yeah. And if they go out and lose this game by 3, then it proves the point of, they are better than we thought they were. Yeah. But again, it's just that, like you said, that stigma of old stuff. This is a new year, new team. This is not 2020. It's not 2017. Yeah. We never let stuff go when it comes to that. Like, this is a different team, different coach, different culture, different players. But yeah, we want to hold them to the standard of when Adam Gase was there. Like, I don't think we should do that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
My very last thought is, I think it is as healthy as they are, as good as they were when they were healthy. Like, I think that is kind of what it comes down to, because when they had all their players on the defensive side, they've got 4 O-linemen out. Their star running back is now out. When all those guys were there collectively, you looked at this team and you did think they could go up with just about anybody. With all those people out, it's easy for people to revert back to the same old Jets, and that might be where it's
that's fair.
That's me on the last. I know we need to move on. So
you're fine.
You're good. All good. This will be a fun. This is the game I'm most excited for. In the Week 9 slate, to be completely honest, this is the game I'm most excited for. Like, I know we're talking Chiefs Titans later, and that's like the primetime game, and this and that, but so this is the game I'm looking forward to most. Bills Jets. It's a clean sweep for the Bills, though, on this panel. The next game on our list is the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. The Raiders are 2-5. The Jaguars 2-6. The Raiders have not won a road game this season. Look to do it for the first time against the Jaguars. They are favored by 1.5 points with an over-under of 48. These two teams had 2 tough losses last week. One got shut out, one lost, and yet again another close game in the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Raiders, let's start on that side of things. We know what the fix is to this offense, Aaron. We know the fix. Give that guy right there, the ball. Give him the ball.
If you don't,
then it's like, please do. I just acquired him.
Is that Josh Jacobs making that sound, or is
that's what he makes? That's what the sound he makes when they don't give him the ball, because he knows how good he is. He's in there whining and pouting, like, give me the damn ball so I can run through everybody.
All right.
Listen, man. Listen. It's simple.
He doesn't know how to
respond. A simple formula for winning. Simple. I mean, my son Elijah could coach this team. Hand off to Josh Jacobs, throw to Devontae Adams. I don't care about it. Oh, they're bracketing cover. Don't tell me about scheme when it comes to this Raiders team right now. There's one scheme. Turn around and hand it to 28, drop back and throw it to 17. And if the Raiders do that, they will have a chance to win every game. If they don't do that, then Josh McDaniels will probably be looking for a new job real soon, because it is very, very simple how this offense needs to look. Look at the games when they've done well and look at the games when they haven't. It's a direct line to what they are doing. Give Josh Jacobs the ball, run the football, and throw the ball to Devontae Adams. I don't care if you have to force it. I will take an interception or two by Derek Carr forcing the ball into Devontae Adams if you're going to give him the opportunities to make plays. But one catch for 3 yards or whatever the hell it was ain't going to cut it in this world. If you get that from Devontae Adams, you ain't winning many games. And so it's really, really simple for Josh McDaniels. We talk about getting back to basics sometimes and just doing what you're good at. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Like Nike said. You know what I'm saying? Just do it.
This guy. What a quote. What a quote there.
It's simple.
It is. No, it is. It really, and that's the funny part about it is it's so simple that with the Raiders' keys to success, give the ball to your best players and you'll win football games. Shocker. On the Jaguars side of things, they have now lost. They've lost 5 straight, and it's been very tight games. They've been close and right there in every one of their losses during this 5-game losing streak. And really every one of their losses this season has been a 1-possession game. AJ, how do the Jaguars get over that hump?
Stop turning the ball over in critical situations. I mean, you can't have a great drive all the way down to the 1 yard line and then throw an interception directly to the linebacker standing in front of your face. That's not going to win you games, especially in your home away from home when everyone's excited to see you finally pull it off. Dylan went a little too far about Trevor Lawrence and, what his future and the fact that he ain't it. The fact of the matter, he has improved a lot. This team has gotten better under Doug Peterson, but they're still young and they're still moving forward. You give Trevor Lawrence the weapons, which seem to keep coming. You give Trevor Lawrence the time and with somebody he trusts to run that QB room. I think year 3, you start seeing them take over some of these one-win games, these one-score games like that they're losing. All 6 of their losses are one-score games. I think you see that change a little bit next season. You look at Minnesota Vikings. We talked about last season how they were having this problem. Next year, they turn around and they're winning one-score games. That could be this Jaguars team as well. They're doing the right things. They're young and they're still a little inexperienced. And Trevor Lawrence has to make better decisions in critical moments. But other than that, you got a nice a nice proven back so far this season. And the way he's been explosive and running that ball in Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk is coming along. And if Calvin Ridley's even a shell of what he was in Atlanta and Alabama, you got some receiving prowess going into next season. So patience still for the Jaguars. But we talked about this 2 years ago. They are trending in the right direction. And as of last offseason, they've been doing the right things to continue trending in the right direction.
Yep. No, I agree.
I'm not going that route. I'm not going the Trevor Lawrence route. This is not on Trevor Lawrence. I'm the one who said the defense of the Jacksonville Jaguars was going to be one of the most improved, if the most improved defense this year. And they have been better. But every game that the Jacksonville Jaguars have lost, they've given up a late drive. They've had the lead, every one of them except for the 29-21 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 1, they go take the lead. They give up a late drive to the Commanders, lose the game. Week 5, the Texans, they give up a late drive. Dameon Pierce scores a touchdown. The very next week against the Colts, it's Alec Pierce, late drive, touchdown. The very next week, it's the Giants, late drives, 2 late drives, touchdown, field goal. This is the consistent theme for the Jaguars. It's their defense. The Broncos the week after that, Russell Wilson goes on a late drive, touchdown. You put Trevor Lawrence in situations where he has to then play hero ball. And in the NFL, the late drive 2-minute situation is very similar to the last second shot in the NBA, AJ. And this is for you since you love the NBA. Like Kobe Bryant took 55, 60, 70, 80 game winners and probably hit 15 of them. Like it's not a high percentage, but you remember those moments. And Trevor Lawrence is in that situation now. He doesn't have the fourth quarter comebacks, but he's had a lot of opportunities this year and been put in tough spots, but he's young and he's experienced it now. So maybe he is 0-5 and 0-6 in those game winning drives this year. But next year he might be 2-5. The year after that, maybe it's 4-5. Then it might be 5-3. Like this is how he grows as a quarterback. The defense has to stop allowing these late drives and has to get off the field. Trevor Lawrence put his team in position to win, and defense, go win it for me. Go make a stop. You can't get a stop. Now I have to go out and do it again. That is hard to do. I think the Raiders are the better football team here too. And I know I'm still on this Raiders train picking them, and I don't know why, but the Jaguars haven't played lately. I'm taking the Raiders in this one, 27-21, and I hate to say it. It's another late game situation where either the Jaguars turn it over or can't get it done, or the Raiders drive down and win the game because I think they're that well coached in Jacksonville. It's just a matter of the small details. But give me the Raiders here, 27-21.
I'll follow that trend as well of a close game and say 23-21 Raiders. This one was a tough one for me to decide because I do think we talk about all the time with like the Dolphins and how hard it is for teams to go into Miami, the Heat, this and that. Jacksonville's weather is not the best either when it comes to this time of year, and you're traveling all the way across the country. It's a tough road game for the Raiders, but I think at the end of the day, I talk about it all the time, the talent prevails. And you look at the weapons that they have on the Raiders' offensive side of the ball with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. I think that is what shines through in this game, but it is a close matchup again. And Jaguar fans will be losing their minds again when they lose another close game and thinking it's Trevor Lawrence's fault or saying fire Doug Peterson or whatever clown stuff that they've been saying over the past 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 9 weeks, wherever we're at in this season. AJ, go ahead.
You're
Let's
on
see how
mute.
long it takes him. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, it's cool. It pops up. It tells you you're on mute. I remember why now. But anyways, yeah. This probably should be one that is another clean sweep for us. But I'm gonna go the other route. I'll rep Florida and take the Jaguars 24-20. Another close game. Hopefully they don't turn the ball over in a critical situation. I'm going Jack. This is just a toss-up situation here. I think both teams are bad enough to flub this game at the end, and so I'm just kind of lean to Jacksonville.
What's making you pick the Jaguars? What do they do differently in this game that gets the win? There's got to be something.
I mean, I believe that Travis Etienne will have a big role in this.
Okay.
I believe Christian Kirk has a chance to get going. I believe Evan Ingram has a chance to get going. I mean, the secondary of the Raiders aren't fantastic. They're not horrible, but they can be had. And Trevor Lawrence, when he does get going, has looked good at times. And in a team with the Raiders who are not seeming to click very well, that's a spot. That's a good spot for them to get right. This isn't a team going in here to the Raiders that, they don't really have a chance and they're just going to be in it long enough. They can grab control of this game and just need to do enough to hold it.
Vinny, you seem shocked by AJ picking that, but your game was close too, which is
no. By no means was I shocked that he picked that. I just wanted some context between why he had the Jaguars winning, because all he said was it's a toss up, and then I wanted a reason why the Jaguars get the win. Like I wanted more substance to an answer that was, I don't know who's picking this game. I'm just going to take the Jaguars 24-20.
I was okay with that. A toss-up game, and he decided he thinks the Jaguars are going to pull it out. Context enough. That's ultimately what you said with the Raiders. You think it's going to be a close game? Then they're going to lose another close game, but
first not clean sweep on the show today. You have the Jaguars. We both have the Raiders.
Let's
get to our final game. Let's get to our final game. The Tennessee Titans travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Both these teams, shockingly, I don't want to say shockingly, I don't mean to disrespect them. Both these teams have the same record. Both teams enter this game at 5-2, but the spread does not show that these two teams are on the same level. The Chiefs are favored at home, 12.5 points. Aaron, you talked about this earlier, that it is just disrespectful to have anyone as double-digit favorites. Maybe that changes when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs and a Patrick Mahomes-led team, that it says, okay, it's fair that it's a 12.5 point spread.
No, don't put words in my mouth. First of all, I said it's disrespectful to have that big of a spread on the road against against a team that's winning. Kansas City's at home, so I'm not saying they should. I don't think they should be 12.5, but I do think it should be a bigger spread. A home team, and obviously the Kansas City Chiefs, but Tennessee's good. If Malik Willis plays, that's part of the reason why I think this is 12.5. He's a young quarterback, but that doesn't mean they're going to come in here and roll over the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry is going to run the football. We've seen the Tennessee Titans give the Kansas City Chiefs fits at times in the regular season when it comes to Derrick Henry running the football. So, it might be a little bit in excessive of a spread, but I think this is different than the Jets and the Bills because they're going on the road in that game. I just think that Tennessee is limited offensively. And when you're a limited offense against a team that is unlimited offensively, good luck. Good luck. That's really what it boils down to. You got to be perfect, and you have to hope that Patrick Mahomes stubs his toe or wakes up, has a little sniffle, and he's not feeling very good and is not at his best, because Patrick Mahomes at his best in this offense, there is no shot in hell that the Tennessee Titans have to win this game.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, and not really the elephant in the room. Let's talk about something that was always brought up by Titans fans when we talk about them last year, when they were talking about whether or not they were the real deal or not. They would bring up that Week 7 game against the Chiefs where they won 27-3. They blew out the Chiefs, and everyone was losing their shit over it. I just think I want the Chiefs to win this game. And I'll just say it right now. We'll keep analyzing this game. But I want the Chiefs to win. I have the Chiefs winning just so I don't have to hear Titans fans harp on one win against the Chiefs and thinking that they're the real deal because of it. Like, that's where I just don't want it to happen. But AJ, how do the Titans pull off the upset here?
They run the ball. I mean, that's been their bread and butter, not just against the NFL, but against the Chiefs. When Derrick Henry in the regular season runs against Kansas City, they normally run the game. He averages 5.4 yards a carry against the Kansas City Chiefs. And despite the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs rushing defense is up there in the league, they've surrendered 127 yards per game on the ground over the last 3 weeks. So with Derrick Henry being all that offense has, especially if there is Malik Willis at quarterback, they're going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball a lot. With that being said, I don't think it's enough because the Kansas City Chiefs have way more. They have more weapons. They have Patrick Mahomes. They have Andy Reid, who's 20-3 off of a bye. Everything is kind of setting up well for the Kansas City Chiefs in this one, despite the tale of Derrick Henry running everywhere, every which way, all the time. But yeah, I have the Chiefs. They got too much on their side, 28-20.
Yeah, go ahead, Vinny. I'm last. This is my team. Remember?
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Well, yeah, no, AJ talked about the Titans needing to run the ball. If Malik Willis is the quarterback, you know damn well they're going to run the ball. They ran it 78% of the time last week in their win against the Texans. I will go the Chiefs route as well, 33-17. I don't think it's that close. I talked about in the last game we just previewed, talent prevails, and the talent in this game, it's not even close. It's not even close in my opinion. Sorry, Titans fans. You can yell at me. You can do whatever you want. 33-17. No way in hell you're coming into Kansas City. And especially if Malik Willis is the quarterback. No way in hell. 33-17 Chiefs.
So Derrick Henry, correct me if I'm wrong. Derrick Henry ran for 200 yards last week, right?
Correct.
200 yards last week, and they scored 17 points. 17 points. This is a limited offense. They do not stand a chance in this game. Biggest thing here, though, is you check where their pass defense is at. Bottom half of the league in pass defense. Patrick Mahomes is going to feast. This is not the Tennessee Titans from a year ago or 2 years ago where they were playing good in the secondary. Bad pass defense. Chiefs are great offensively. There's nobody to stop Travis Kelce on that defense. You have a Tennessee Titans team that wants to run the ball, but when they run the ball at their best, they're only scoring 17 points against the Houston Texans. What do you think they're going to be able to do against the Kansas City Chiefs? This isn't close. It's Kansas City all day, 38-16. And my Titans fans is going to watch the second coming of Jesus Christ walk on water in person, and they're going to have to like get down on their knees in the middle of the game and just start praying to Patrick Mahomes and just wish that Ryan Tannehill was that and hope that Malik Willis can be that in the future because they have no shot in hell to win this game.
None in hell.
Yep, that's
good thing they play on Earth. No,
they don't. No, they don't. They actually
they
don't play on Earth. They play in heaven because that's where Patrick Mahomes is at as he's floating on the clouds.
That's where he lives.
He walks and he floats and he throws the ball and it's always caught for touchdowns. And like he is the second coming of the Lord and Savior himself.
We're getting a lot here. All right. All of us clean sweep across the board for just about every AFC game today, except for one. And that was the Raiders and the Jaguars. Tomorrow we'll have more. We'll have the rest of our week 9 previews of the NFC matchups. Got some good games on that side of the conferences, on that side of the NFL. But let's cap the show off with a little Thursday night DFS. We've got the Eagles. We've got the Texans. We've got DFS plays. This is the time where we invite 100 people to our DFS plays and see who can beat who can win, really. Who can win from our group, from our show in our 100 player DraftKings showdown. Eagles, Texans, gentlemen, let's do this. What are your lineups looking like?
Well, I can't even get into my DK because my phone is not working.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It is because I can't draft.
All right. Well, AJ, you can help us out here. You can take us through this.
Yeah. Maybe that's the way I should do it. I have Miles Sanders as my captain right now, and it's a little expensive, but 15.6 for the captain there with Miles Sanders. I have to have Dameon Pierce in my offense because that's all they have on their offensive side of the ball for the Texans. Give me Jalen Hurts. Give me Dallas Goedert. Philip Dorsett because he's cheap. and needed one more spot. Only had $4,000. Take the Texans defense because what else am I gonna do?
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at here. That is kind of where we're at. My team right now, I like you tried to go the cheap route at captain just so I can get more Eagles players on my team. And I have OJ Howard as my captain just because that's my shot in the dark pick. I guess maybe I don't know if I should change that or not, just because the fact that your captain also gets the most points. So it's like, I don't know if OJ Howard's going to be that productive. So maybe that doesn't work out. But basically my strategy here is just to try and get as many Eagles players as possible, as financially possible. Aaron, you alive?
Yeah, I have to go on the website and do it because my phone will not let me get into my notifications because my screen is cracked. So I can't click it.
That kind of sucks.
That's stupid, isn't it? It's stupid. I know it's stupid.
It is.
All right.
Very stupid.
Yeah, shut up. Anyways, okay. All right. Is it my turn to draft?
Yeah, we're not drafting, but yeah.
I can't see you guys because
that doesn't mean the rules change That doesn't mean the rules change.
You leave me alone. You shut your mouth when you're talking.
Stop being mean.
All right. I am taking Jalen Hurts in my lineup. I am taking Dallas Goedert in my lineup. I am taking Devonta Smith in my lineup. I am taking this is ugly.
Yeah, it is.
I only got 10 remaining. I got 2 players. This is not good. All right, I'm taking I'm gonna take Philip Dorsett. And then I'm going to take the Eagles defense. Oh, no, I'm 500 over. Can't do that. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm like balancing my money right now, just like playing around with things, seeing who I can add to try and.
Yeah, right. It's like, who can I play?
I think my captain is set. I got Kenny Gainwell as my captain.
Ew.
Why?
Why not?
Why do you hate yourself? There are lots of reasons why not.
Why not? He's cheaper. He's on the Eagles, and that's the only reason I have to have. It's a toss up.
Oh, okay. That's not a toss-up. You want your runners from this team? Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all that's happening.
I can't imagine a team without Jalen Hurts, though, so this is becoming tough.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm just
going to
stick with it.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, get torched with the Texans defense, but...
And I'm changing Philip Dorsett to Chris Moore. So my team is Dameon Pierce is my captain. Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Devonta Smith, Chris Moore, and Jake Elliott.
Yep. All right. My team here is still in the process of happening. I will. You know what? Screw it. My team: Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Kaimi Fairbairn, AJ Brown, Dameon Pierce, and OJ Howard. Somehow, some way, I ended up with more Texans than I really wanted to. That's it, though. That's how we're gonna do this. It's submitted. Let's all have some fun tonight, okay? Let's start some. Let's have some fun. Would you start Hurts or Tua in redraft this week? Concern is Hurts doesn't have to do much tonight. Game script.
You're starting Jalen Hurts. Even game script would mean they would have to be ahead. He would probably have a lot to do with that. Top 5 quarterback each and every week. You are not benching Jalen Hurts right now until he proves you otherwise. Tua Tagovailoa is nice, but Jalen Hurts, you'd rather go down with Jalen Hurts right now. Take Jalen Hurts, put him in your lineup, kick back and relax and watch it work.
Yeah,
right. You'll be done watching this game by halftime. It's Thursday.
Well, yeah, and also just have some type of enjoyment in Thursday night football because really that's the way you're going to find happiness tonight is if you have someone on the Eagles side in fantasy. That does it for another episode of the Sack City Podcast. We'll be back again live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, bringing you more Week 9 matchups for the NFC side of things. Wow, you're on the move already? Oh, you are.
I told you, man.
Hey, maybe if someone wasn't late, we wouldn't be in this
You
mess.
started the show on time.
I digress.
What did I always say?
That does it for another episode
Hit
of the Sack
that
City
play
Podcast.
button,
We'll be back
play
again
that
live tomorrow at 10
music,
a.m.
and I show up. Peace out.